Well, I figure since I'm making this channel now about my little fitness journey that I've just kind of gotten started on, might as well break down a little bit, a little back on me, a little backstory. I am 28 years old. My name is Brave. It's not a nickname. And I'm an alcoholic, man. Just got out of a long-term relationship, 7 years, and it's kind of why I'm switching on over to just trying to be healthier, make better decisions, physically, morally, spiritually. It's just where I'm at. I'm trying to do the workout thing, and also kind of a reason why I started doing the cut afterwards, or after the whole relationship end, and the starting of my recovery in AA was because I heard a lot of people in AA end up gaining weight, and I've always done a little bit of working out, and I've always dirty bulked, because there's no clean bulking if you're using beer as one of your main source of carbs, and then when you decide you want to lose weight, you switch to whiskey. Ridiculous. And it's never a switch thing. I'm just drinking both of them at the same time, just a little bit more of the other. So but here we are. I'm just leaving a meeting now, about to go home. It is late, but I'm gonna go do some arms. I just stopped by the grocery store before the meeting, got all my stuff for my meal prep ready, and I'm about to go whip it up, do a little cooking, do a little bicep, a little tricep workout, maybe some shoulder, and just be good, and it helps, because my brain, or up top, like my mind, it's a dangerous neighborhood, and I need to stay out of it, because otherwise, it's gonna kill me. So whenever I work out, I get to kind of dumb out in the same way that I would when I would use or drink, and that's just kind of a good reason as to why I'm kind of ramping it up. And then I put it on YouTube now, or a little bit on Instagram, mainly YouTube, but it's a part of the accountability thing. I can look back at it, I can stay accountable. Today is day 100 of sobriety. It's not been difficult. Not been easy. It has been difficult. The cravings pretty much have gone for the most part. There are some times when it sneaks back up on me, or if I'm lacking in my acceptance and whatnot of any situation, person, place, thing. And like it happened the other day, I get a text from said ex, and it's kind of sent me into a little panic attack. One, because I misread the text and whatnot. I'm dyslexic, and she wrote a couple words that were the same in proximity to each other, so when I read it, the whole sentence kind of got flipped. I don't know. Just didn't read it properly. I was in the middle of work, had a bunch of caffeine, about 600 milligrams of it. And I work manual labor, so it's like I'll put down 2 of those Rain energy drinks and then just get to work. Probably not the best for my kidneys and liver, but it works. Either way, kind of had like a little panic attack. And it's weird because like I can pick it up, I can tell now when I get those feelings, or maybe that anxiety, or just the lack of acceptance, or if I'm disturbed in any way by something. I can tell now, like, the exact emotion that I'm having, not what it is, but I can tell that this is the emotion that I would feel when I would go out, and I would be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and drink now so I can get away from this. And it wasn't primarily feelings that I would be trying to get away from when I was drinking. It's more of like an existential exhaustion, like I've tried the whole, ending yourself thing, that didn't work out. And so now it's like I don't even have necessarily the desire to, DIE and whatnot. It's not that. It's not suicidal. But it certainly is me wanting to turn my brain off, like take a break from existing, because it gets to be, a lot mentally. I'm not saying it's like, oh, I'm just overwhelmed by all the problems in my life. It's just existential dread, like the fact that I do exist is wild to me, like, and having to deal with the aspects of this existence that, just don't make sense to me, or just, it seems like, why? I don't know. I can't really put a finger on it, but these are the things, the feelings, the thoughts that would pass through my mind that would make me want to go and drink or use just anything that would turn my brain off. Originally, it was taking, anxiety medication and whatnot. That was like my go-to. And then after, having a few incidences with that, I quit. Or I stopped using them as frequently, I should say. I would like to say I stopped entirely, but it was like, I stopped being like, okay, I'm going to take 4 of these every day when I wake up, to like, okay, well, now I'm just taking, one, like, every, like, few days or something like that. And, that slowly turned into like, all right, well, I can pair it with alcohol. And I would call it the activator. I would be like, all right, I'd take my little medicine, and then I would follow it up with like a fucking good old swig off the whiskey bottle, and I'd be like, time for the activator, because you can tell if you take one of those medications and then you drink, behind it, it activates much quicker, or it has there's a sensation that you will get much quicker. Whether that be, the alcohol and whatnot, the drug itself, because it's being broken down quicker by the alcohol, or combination of the two. But I would do that because what it would do, it would make me basically black out, and that was my off switch. That's how I would do it. I would just turn off my brain using substances. And so now, I've got my home group. I've got like a support system. I go to work. It's summertime, so I'm not in school right now. But this whole documenting, so it's not as much of like, definitely not trying to be an influencer. No one should be influenced by me, unless it's to stop using. Then go ahead, I say go for it. It's probably the best decision I've made so far. And that's just, in small ways. It's only been 100 days and things have already been better. I would have had 143 days, but on day 43, my first go around, I relapsed. And, but I came back to the meeting, or the group, the next day, told my sponsor, and, I was fortunate and lucky enough to make it back into the rooms, because sometimes people go out and they don't make it back, not because they, I decided I want to just keep drinking and using, but it's because they go out again and then they die, so I, count myself lucky. I'm grateful for the fact that, I get another opportunity to come back and do it again, or try to do it again. So, with all that in mind, this is more or less kind of like a vlog that's going to be centered around, days of recovery. I'm not going to be sitting on here talking about all my woes and problems and whatnot. If anything, I'd rather like to spread the message, not the mess, and so it's that. It's a vlog for me personally, keep tabs on my condition and whatnot. It helps with tracking my progress in the gym, and then also kind of tracking my progress with life. and it'd just be nice to have documentation of it, something that I can look back on and, you know, think about with some accuracy and precision. But that's really where I'm at and why I started putting this stuff on YouTube. You can see some of the shorts that I put out a while back, you know, like 167 pounds, pretty chubby. And, you know, it's because I was always like, oh, I'm just going to do dirty bulk and whatnot. I've gotten up to 190 pounds doing dirty bulk. And that was like in the throe of my addiction, you know. I'm drinking at least like, you know, 12 tall boys a day, and then paired with like my little pint of whiskey that I keep around, or the vice versa, where I would, you know, have a liter of whiskey and then maybe like a few beers. But, you know, I don't want to do that, and that's why I started the cut too. It's like I wanted to get down to like a nice lean base level, that way I could build on that rather than just building on top of like the fat nasty body that I had, you know, kind of composed out of just, you know, eating whatever. I wasn't even tracking macros. I was just eating a ton of food. I was buying the cheapest fucking ground beef and then mixing that with rice and broccoli and just eating a ton of it all the time. I'm not saying I didn't gain any muscle, but when you're an alcoholic and you're drinking every day in excess, especially to the point of what I was, like I was drinking like to black out. I wasn't drinking just to feel a little bit better or anything like that. It was like I'm drinking to, you know, to turn out the lights, you know. And that's kills your gains, man. You know, I can only imagine how much bigger or stronger I may be if I wasn't doing that, you know. But, you know, we're not going to sit here and think about what ifs. I've given up all hope on having a better past. You can't change the past, so why worry about it? All you can do is try to learn from your mistakes. But that's kind of what I'm doing here. So, you know, if any of that resonates with you, even if you just want to follow for the fitness stuff, because that's mainly what I'll be posting, is just the workout stuff. And then, you know, whatever little kind of life adventures I might be going on in my early recovery, because that's what this is, early recovery, you know. Granted, 100 days feels like an eternity, but, you know, this is early recovery. I haven't made a year yet. I haven't made 6 months yet. I mean, I just got my 3-month chip. So, I'd like to put this out there, and, you know, if it helps somebody, then rock and roll, you know. And anybody that sees this stuff, if you want to reach out, you know, please feel free. And, you know, we can talk about whatever. You know, we don't even have to talk about nothing important. But, you know, that's what we got going on here. This is what it's going to be about. That's why the name of the channel is Brave Gets Better. Because it's not about just like, oh, Brave getting bigger, or Brave getting stronger, or Brave fitness. It's about, you know, Brave getting better, you know, spiritually, mentally, physically, any other, you know, word you can think of. That's what I'm aiming to do here. So, thanks for watching, you know, and I'll be putting out more stuff pretty soon. So, thank you again. Y'all have a blessed night.